You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about the New Orleans Saints. Last night, they suffered a devastating loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and even worse, it was in devastating fashion as tight end Foster Moreau flat dropped a touchdown at the end of the game that would have tied it wide ass open, for lack of a better way of putting it. We'll take a quick look at that throw and his reaction, and he was devastated. Once again, it feels like, at least in my opinion, that Dennis Allen is underachieving with this team. I came into this year thinking, I think the Saints are the clear-cut favorites here in what's considered a weaker, NFC South. The Buccaneers, kind of out there, kind of feel like they're moving in the right direction, but the Saints have a feeling of spinning their wheels, and one's only got to wonder, is Dennis Allen the right guy? I don't know that he is. So very quickly, we'll just take a look at two of the plays that I'm talking about, which, of course, is the let's look at Foster's reaction first, because this was his reaction after dropping. I'll turn this down so I don't get a copyright, but that was his reaction on the bench. He's obviously devastated after not making that catch. Now, we know he's been fighting Hodgkin's lymphoma. I mean, a hell of a brave fight out there for this guy. Let's look at the play. Here it is right here. I'm going to slow it down. Hopefully I won't get a copyright strike. And there is the throw right there. He's wide ass open in the end zone, and he just dropped it. That was all there was to it, and he's made some comments. We'll just run a little tidbit. Here it is. Boom. Dropped it. I mean, that would have tied the game. And, of course, it would have sent the game into overtime. They might have went for two. Who knows? But Dennis Allen. Yikes. Okay. And Saints are too inconsistent right now. That's what's causing us problems. Right now they look like a mediocre team. And they've got weapons everywhere, folks. I mean, this team's got real weapons. This is the offense last night. You know, Derek Carr, 301, but Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas. This team has got real offensive weapons, and it feels like that Pete Carmichael and Dennis Allen are underachieving, with this team. And to lose that game, and here's the thing, you lost the game in the Superdome. That's a game you need to win. That is a game you need to come away with if you hope to win the NFC South, which I thought they could do. I actually thought they could be a sneaky NFC, championship game kind of team. It sure doesn't look like it. It really doesn't. Saints coach Dennis Allen was frustrated by his team's inconsistency after the Thursday night loss. Our team is too inconsistent right now. That's what's causing us problems. No kidding. We'll have to work to get that corrected. We'll have 10 days to get it done. It's a bye, but I don't think they're going to. The problem is you're not going to let go an offensive coordinator during the season, I don't think. Although John Gruden knows this offense, I'm just throwing that out there. Allen said the schedule with some time off before getting to work next week's game against the Colts should give the Saints some time to reflect on what's going wrong and how to fix it. Quote, I told the team there's a good little reset. Allen said, we'll reset. We'll evaluate a lot of the things over the next 4 or 5 days as we're starting to get into our next opponent, and we'll figure out how we can play better and be more consistent. If I had to use one word to say about where we're at as a team, it's we're a little inconsistent. That's the challenge. We've got to become more consistent as a football team. The Saints are in a bad division, NFC South, and they're 3-4. They're far from out of playoff contention. Yeah, they still got a real shot here. I mean, we're not going to act like they don't. And this was Foster Moreau he made some comments about that bad drop. Quote, "Yeah, it's tough in front of every man, woman, child I've ever known. It's a dark place to be. It's the National Football League. It doesn't come down to one play, but it comes down to one play. The team fought. The team fought as hard as we did, and it's just unacceptable. It's just pathetic." I got to tell you, hearing him say that is a damn sight better than listening to Devontae Parker the other day dropping that Mac Jones throw on the Patriots. I'm just pointing that out as a side note, but you get my point. Moreau said he cut his route too short, but that the throw and the read were correct. Short week, that's a lack of focus, lack of concentration. It's unacceptable. So you can imagine what this team is going through right now, and it's a bad situation. So we get over here and we look at their schedule to see what's going to happen. I got to tell you guys, you look at the wins. I mean, they've beaten some bad teams, but there's some games here you feel like the Saints should have probably won. Okay, you get beat by the Buccaneers, fine. But there's no doubt you probably should beat the Titans if you want to be anything, and you should have definitely beat the Panthers. They're awful. Packers, they won that game at the end. They sort of gave that game away. But I think you got to beat the Texans. I think you got to beat the Jags at home. That's the thing. If you were playing in Jacksonville, okay, I guess a loss. But you're at home and you don't win that game. Now you got the Colts coming up. You got the Bears coming up. Those should be wins. You're going to be at 5-4. Vikings, yeah, you would think you would win that game. But as I went through the schedule and looked, there's definitely wins left. I mean, personally speaking, I feel like the Saints should be better than the Falcons, and they got the Falcons left twice. They should beat the Giants, They should beat the Panthers. When you look at the Saints' schedule, if they can get the offense together, the Saints still have a path, believe it or not. Even at 3-4, they've got a path to 10-7. But you still got an issue out there involving, how good is this team? Can they get past the Buccaneers? Is the Buccaneers going to end up winning more games than the Saints do? You have to wonder if the Buccaneers the Saints may win enough games or feel like they win enough games, but they may blow the season because the Buccaneers end up being better than anybody thought. And I think that's the key. Because the Buccaneers, if you look at their schedule, and in fact, we can go back and sort of glance at it right now, I don't see them beating the Bills, but they could certainly beat the Falcons. They could beat the Texans. They could beat the Titans. The Colts are still on here, probably a loss to the Niners. They are 3-2. They already had their bye. So you're talking, let's say 4-2, 4-3, 5-3, 6-3, 6-4, 7-4, 8-4, 9-4. Let's say they lose to the Packers maybe. 9-5, Jags. I think that should probably be a win maybe. 10-5, Saints, toss up. Okay, 10-6. I think you got the Buccaneers going 11-6, and I think that may end up being the Saints' problem. Ultimately, the Buccaneers are better than anybody thought they were going to be, and Baker Mayfield has certainly been better. I don't know. I mean, I still feel like the Saints are the best overall team in this league and should end up taking it away, taking the division. But the problem is they've already lost some games I feel like they should have won. I mean, you're playing in the Superdome. I understand it's the Jags. I understand they went to the playoffs. But you got to win that game. You got to win that game. Certain games are pivot points. And look, the Buccaneers could end up dropping that game to the Jags. And then you're going to start getting into tiebreakers. I still think the Saints have a path. But it's going to come down to the Saints and the Bucs very end of the year. It really is. And it's going to be tight. Who do you have more confidence in? Todd Bowles or Dennis Allen? I think I might have more confidence in Todd Bowles. I can't believe I just said that. But Bruce Arians is still lurking there, see? And that's the thing. All right? He's still got some involvement in that organization and can sort of be an offensive contributor to the Buccaneers. We'll have to see. It's going to come down. NFC Championship game potential with either of these teams? I don't think so anymore. I don't. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.